Now, another adjustment that learners often get confused with is the current portion of fixed deposit and the current portion of a loan. So let's take a look at this particular exercise. Now, you were given a fixed deposit of $850,000 in the pre-adjustment trial balance, and you're working for the financial year ended the 28th of February 20.5. Now, in the information, you were told that there are two fixed deposits at East Bank, and a fixed deposit of $60,000 matures on the 30th of April 20.5. The rest matures on the 31st of December. Now, what you've got to note is that you work into the end of February 2005. In March, April, in 2 months' time, $60,000 of this fixed deposit will come due. Remember, a fixed deposit is put into a financial institution for a fixed period of time. Let's say a year, 2 years. After that period of time, it matures and it gets paid back to you. Now, when we look at our financial statements, remember, a balance sheet is not only drawn up showing the historical data, showing what has happened in the past year, but we use it for planning in the future. And remembering our liquidity ratios, the current ratio and the asset test ratio, we need to look and see, have we got enough current assets here to pay off our current liabilities? At the moment, the fixed deposit is put under non-current assets. It's telling you that this is going to be there for more than a year. But actually, that's not correct, because they've just told us that $60,000 of this is going to come due in the next year. So while you're planning for the next year, you can depend on the fact that this $60,000 is coming due. So therefore, we take it away from the fixed deposit under non-current, and it goes under cash and cash equivalents. Now, I know that many learners like to put it under trade and other receivables because they say it's still receivable, we haven't got it yet. Yes, that argument to a certain extent is correct, but this is coming back in cash form. And that is why this has got cash and cash equivalents. The money in the fixed deposit is an equivalent of cash. And so we put it under cash and cash equivalents. This doesn't detract from the fact that I've still got a fixed deposit of $850,000 on the date of the 28th of February. But when I go forward into the next year, I can plan around the fact that $60,000 of this money will come due, and I will be able to use it in 2 months' time for paying off of my debts. Now, exactly the same applies to the loan. Now, this is a very common adjustment where you're told that the loan balance on the 1st was $625. If the interest is capitalized, it would have been added on. So you're plussing an X. The repayments, what you paid back, would have been minus. So you can solve for this interest because you need it for your income statement. The 625 plus X minus 195,000 equals 508, 125. But what I'm looking for now is that is my loan at the end of the year. But they now tell me that according to the loan agreement, the loan will be reduced by 120,000 over the next financial year. So now what does that mean? At this stage, loan is also a non-current liability, just like your fixed deposit was non-current, because generally our loans take more than a year to pay back. But now, just like we could plan that we were going to get the 60,000 in to pay off our debts, we also need to plan that I have to pay a portion of the loan back. So, because it's falling due in the next year, same thing, we take it away from the non-current. This 120,000 you do not have more than a year to pay back, and it goes out of there and it comes in to be a current portion of the loan. So it goes out of there into current, out of non-current into current. You've still got the loan of that amount, And if you were going to do ratios, like for example work out the debt equity, your debt is still 508,125. But the important thing is that you are now planning and making provision for the fact that you're going to have to pay this 120. So if we look at this as a whole, what you can do is say, right, I know that 60,000 is going to come due, but I also know that I'm going to have to pay 120. So some of this can be covered by that fixed deposit when it falls due. But obviously we still need extra money.